This is the intro course. This is video 1. We've already had the intro video, and this is the basics. So this is the basics of dropshipping. In this module, we're going to look deeper into the basics of the whole module as a whole. We're going to look at how it works. We're going to look at different ways to sell. We're going to look at different ways that we can source, find, and secure products. We're going to look at why I teach this method. And we're going to look at a step-by-step checklist of the strategy. So this is a sort of a little bit of a diagram of the cycle of dropshipping if you're not aware of dropshipping at all. If you're completely new to this, then this hopefully explains it. So you've got the customer at the top. The customer lands on your website. You've built a website that sells products. You have sourced those products from the supplier. The customer makes an order with you. They pay you. You then go to the supplier and you place an order on behalf of that customer with the customer's details, and then the supplier ships out the product to the customer. And that's essentially how it works. And you would, for example, let's say we're looking at a fishing reel that was the supplier sold for $50, and that same fishing reel sold to the customer for $100. You would make $50 on top of that. Shipping fees and all that kind of stuff all comes into it later on. We always make sure that we're making profit no matter how we do it, and we don't sell products unless we know that we can make a profit and the customer can get that product quickly and reliably from a local supplier, and that's how we tend to do this system. This system though does have pros and cons. First of all, one of the pros of this is there's no minimum orders. So there's also no stock to hold. So quite often when you're getting into the e-commerce world, you would find a product, you would brand that product to yourself, and then you would order in bulk that product from some supplier, whether that was in China or whether that was from an eBay seller or an Amazon seller or whether it was someone locally. You would order and they would make sure that you had to order, I don't know, let's for example say 20 units or 50 units or 100 units. Then you've then got to hold that stock somewhere. So in my case, when I first started, it was in my garage at home. And then you ship that product out to the customer, which means you've then got to take that product to the post office or to the, you've got to get FedEx to come to your house to collect or whatever it is, and you have to then handle everything. So there are obviously benefits to doing that because you can brand the products, as it says here, much less customer service, and cannot brand the products. If you are selling your own products, then you can brand the products yourself. You can send them out in envelopes that have got your branding on the envelope. You can do all that kind of stuff, which definitely looks for a better brand, a better experience for the customer. However, your margins are probably going to be lower because you've got to cover things like shipping and that kind of stuff. You've also got to take care of the customers. You've got to offer customer service. And also you've got to put up the money up front to be able to hold the stock, and you've got to find somewhere to hold it as well, which is great if that's the sort of business model that you've got in mind. But for getting started in an easy way, this method in the dropship code is absolutely perfect for being able to sell high quality, high ticket products at a high price with a high margin and as little effort from you as possible. So there's several ways to source products as we've talked about. This is what I did when I first got started in e-com, ordering in bulk from Chinese manufacturers. You could also do the same thing, but from domestic wholesalers in your country. So obviously, in that they would probably arrive and be delivered to you quicker. They may or may not be higher quality. You could also use websites like AliExpress.com, and you could order one at a time. However, as I've put here, they all have pros and cons. Ordering from AliExpress one at a time, for example, is great for certain items, but because each item is shipped usually from China, they've got higher shipping times, so slow shipping times, and there's also a high risk on the stock as well because you don't know what that particular that particular seller is holding at any given time. You have to make the order. You could be selling a product and you don't know whether they've actually got that product in stock or not. And also the high risk on stock applies to you putting up, say, I don't know, let's say $1,000 or $2,000 or $5,000 for a load of stock that you don't know whether you're going to be able to sell or not. So that's why this method of dropshipping in the dropship code works really well. Print on demand items, so this is things like t-shirts, mugs, jewellery, all this kind of stuff. The issue with these are, although they are great, they are very low priced, so the profit that you're going to make on each item is very low, and you've got to try and get enough people to see that product and then make a purchase within the profit that you've got to work with. So let's, for example, say that you are selling a t-shirt for $20 and let's say that your profit margin is $8. You've got to get enough people to visit that product, and you've got to pay for that traffic usually, and then you've got to make sure that you still make a profit, and that's very hard to do when you've only got $8 to work with. That's why high ticket local suppliers are better for everyone. They're better for you, they're better for the economy, because you are supporting local businesses. And it also results in higher quality relationships, because you are actually working with these people one-on-one. You're working with them to supply products to people in your community, if you like, or certainly your country, and they're also usually more reliable. But it does require more work than most are willing to do, hence why this is a big opportunity. And I can't stress that enough, because very, very easy things to do are always saturated, lower return on your investment, lower profits, and usually higher risk as well, whereas this is much easier for someone to get started, because of the very fact that you have to put in a little bit more work than most people are willing to do. So the business model checklist, this is it. So what we basically do to get started, we need to research a niche. So we need to look around for niches that we can get involved in. It might be something that you're already passionate about. It might be something that's sort of on fire or quote unquote hot at that moment. Then you need to find competitors in that niche. And this is a good thing, because when you find competitors that are doing exactly what you want to do, it means that they are, first of all, there's a market for selling. So you know there are people buying products in that niche. And then also they are doing the same thing as you. So they've found dropshipping suppliers, and you can then research and find the same suppliers that they are using. So competitors is not a bad thing at all. It's a very good thing if you follow this method. Then you want to create a dummy store. So you want to create a store of products that you're not necessarily selling. The dummy store is to get approved, to find top suppliers and get approved. That's why you create the dummy store. So you create the dummy store so that you can show to suppliers that you are a website that is sort of professional, that you have the marketing ability to be able to create websites that are going to sell their products effectively. Then obviously what, find top suppliers and get approved. However, if you're already in the Dropship Code program, fantastic. You are getting the suppliers list that we've built over the last few years. If you're not in Dropship Code program already, then this is a really good reason to join, because we are giving this the biggest aspect of setting up this system is researching and finding top suppliers that we know offer the services that we need to offer, because they don't advertise it usually. You have to do a sort of bit of like a reverse engineering process. We've already done that with dozens and dozens of suppliers which you get inside the Dropship Code program. Then you need to, once you get approved with suppliers, you then need to put their real products on your website. Then you need to just basically perfect your site, so make it look perfect, make it look sort of professional with the real products that you're going to actually sell. Then obviously you need to get traffic. We teach all this in the program. And then you need to scale it and automate it as best as possible. So you need to make sure that you can then take that particular system that you've perfected on this one website and scale it to 2, 3, or you can get more traffic, or you can hire people to help you do things like fulfill orders, do the little bit of customer support that you may have to do, even create the websites for you. So you can just concentrate on researching the niches, finding the suppliers, finding the products. Someone else creates your store, someone else fulfills your orders, and that's how you scale from one website to 3, 5, 10, 20, as many as you want. So thanks a lot for watching this video, and we'll see you in the next.